Welcome back to another episode of Front Row Cinema, a movie podcast for movie lovers by movie lovers. I am your host, Teacher Trimboli, and with me, as always, my co-host. I got Vice President-elect and certified mama's boy in the house tonight. We got Mr. James O'Reilly.
You left out Medal of Honor winner. Thank you very much.
Well, sorry, as soon as we saw your mom try to kiss you, I think all the Medal of Honors went right out the window.
Yeah, I mean, I get that that's why you would focus on that. I understand.
It's all right. Medal of Honor, kissing your mom, which is higher on the list. Like, come on, let's be real here.
I don't
And
know. You tell me what's on your list.
You don't want to know, my friend. You don't want to know. And each week we take a look at my 1,000 movies I've seen in theaters and we see how well it's aged, along with the hype surrounding the film, its box office analysis, and legacy in the film industry. So if you enjoy this kind of content, hit that sub button on YouTube, leave that 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's how you help the channel grow. Jim, what are we watching tonight?
We're watching The Manchurian Candidate.
That's right, the 2004 thriller, directed by Jonathan Demme, written by Daniel Pine and Dean Georgarius. I'm sure I butchered that last name.
Yeah, it
Based,
sounds about right to me.
yeah, it matches. Well, we'll go with it. Based on the 1962 original film and starring Denzel Washington, Meryl Streep, and Liev Schreiber. Now, Jim, at least as far as our episodes that we've been doing, is this the first remake we've come across?
Yeah, it might be actually. Now that you mention it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first remake of of an original movie that we're going to be delving into here. So very interesting. Have you ever seen the original Manchurian Candidate?
No, I don't think I have.
So I have an addendum to what I said last week when you said that we were doing this movie. And it is that in government class, they showed us the original and not this one. And I know that because like 10 minutes into this movie, I was like, I've never fucking seen this in my life.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I was
What
like,
did you think? I picked the one from 1962? Like, what?
no,
How did
no,
you not realize you had only seen the old one? It's like 50 years old by the time this one comes out.
no, I had just assumed that they showed us the older one because I was like, it made sense in my head that I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they showed us the Denzel Washington one. But then watching this movie, I was like, no, it definitely wasn't that one. I've never seen this before. Like,
Yeah, is that, I mean, have you potentially been Manchurian candidated?
it's entirely possible. I mean, I
Do you
haven't been,
remember watching the movie, or do
I
you just remember that you have watched it?
don't think I've been to Vietnam, so I don't know if they could have got me there, but I mean, anything's possible. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. If anybody calls while we're on this episode and triggers me, and I just dip, like we'll know we're in business. Except actually my Manchurian Candidate is just actually someone calls in and then gets me to start one star chutting on the women. So I'm actually gonna say a lot of sexist things about Meryl Streep tonight. That's my
Oh
Manchurian
no,
Candidate.
oh no, it's a disaster.
They're like, no, they made him a chud. Must say Meryl Streep is a babe.
I don't know. I think we might go 2 weeks in a row without any mentions of babes. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. I have a sneaking suspicion about the chuds who write those things, and I we'll see how it plays out, Cotton.
I don't know. You're giving a lot of leg room to the chuds this week, but we'll roll with it for right now. We got the DVD cover here. I got this sweet 4K that they actually released within the last few months here of this movie, Jim. So I got
In the
this and
last few months?
yeah, this came out a few months ago.
That's wild, because I was gonna say this felt to me like a movie that's kind of been lost to time a little bit.
it does, but this physical media label, they're called Kino Lorber. They actually upscale 4Ks of a lot of like old movies and then also movies from the early 2000s. So
Oh my
like
God.
they're
I
like
have
one
to
of my
look into this.
yeah, they're one of my favorite boutique labels. Quick plug here for collecting movies because they always put out hits. So they did this one and the original like not too long ago. So I picked up both. And just a good one to have in the collection. But we got our lovely log line here in the back. And it reads Years after his squad was ambushed during the Gulf War, Major Ben Marco finds himself haunted by terrible nightmares. He begins to doubt that his fellow squadmate, Sergeant Raymond Shaw, now a vice presidential candidate, is the hero he remembers him being. As Marco's fears deepen, Shaw's political power grows, and when Marco finds a mysterious implant embedded in his back, the bizarre memory of what really happened begins to return.
Oh my God.
Oh man, they really set the stakes there. You got to give it to them on that one. Now, did you go see this with your dad back then? Was this watched
Yeah,
back in
this
the
is a
day?
movie I would have seen with my dad because some things that maybe you know about my dad, but I don't know a lot of that a lot of people know. He is a rabid. Oh, okay. I shouldn't say it like that these days because he's not nearly as bad as most people, but he was big into conspiracy theories back when I was a kid.
That was back when conspiracy theories were fun and
Yeah, I
not
mean,
all
mm,
encompassing.
they were more fun anyway. They're a lot less fun nowadays than they were in 2004.
Yeah, they're definitely taking a dive these days.
But my dad is the kind of guy who, like, 100% believed at the time that something like the Manchurian Candidate could happen. Like, I'm pretty sure my dad does believe that it did happen with Robert F. Kennedy, or not Jr., just with RFK,
RFK
like
with
the
Bob,
original one who ran
yeah,
for
Bobby,
president in the 60s.
yeah, good old Bobby boy.
Yeah, Bobby Kennedy, right.
Yeah,
Like, I'm pretty sure he thinks that Sirhan, the guy who allegedly killed, well, no, he was
yeah.
convicted. He
I was
killed
gonna
Bobby
say,
Kennedy.
yeah, I don't know if there's
This
much
is,
alleged in it.
listen, raised by a conspiracy theorist. I'm not admitting Sirhan did it. I
Yeah, we
don't
don't
know.
know. He got him in like the wasn't it like the kitchen as they were like sheltering him like out of the like hotel or whatever?
Yeah, it was like after Bobby Kennedy had won the California primary, and it was
Yeah,
like obvious that he was going to get the nomination from the Democratic Party for president, and the dude
yeah.
shot him at the after, like the speech that he was making after he won the primary.
Dude, you really don't see a lot of walk-up assassinations anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, they probably ran out of Manchurian candidates a while ago. I
It's
mean,
true. They closed down the program and we haven't opened it up again yet.
you know how much money it probably costs to make the two in this movie? You can't make like 1,000 of them, you know? You
True.
gotta like use them where they count.
Very true. Man, you're
But no,
unlocking a
so my
whole
my
host of
dad
thoughts
like
right now.
was like super into this kind of thing. He's like super into political thrillers, and this is
Yes.
like on the cutting edge for him, this kind of movie in 2004. So absolutely I would have saw this with my dad.
Nice. Yeah, we've now discovered that for me this is a first time watch. And it was in the wee days of government class that I watched the original Manchurian Candidate, not the Denzel
Also,
Washington one.
if I remember correctly, my dad hated it.
He
Like
didn't like this
hated.
one.
You didn't like this one. I'm pretty sure he
What
was a big fan of the original. He
was
hated this
that's
one,
yeah,
if
that's
I
what I was just
remember
gonna ask. I was
correctly.
like, I'm guessing he was a big fan of the original, and going to see this one, it was like, nah, 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 not my Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of not my Manchurian Candidate going on. Fair.
I could feel that. And honestly, when this movie came out, I think everyone was kind of feeling that because this is an interesting box office here, Jim. So let's cue it up. Let's dive into some numbers.
Numbers, dates, numbers, numbers, dates, array, dates, numbers. Show me the money.
All right. The Manchurian Candidate is going to open against an $80 million budget.
Hi, man.
I mean, yeah, maybe a little high for a political thriller kind of movie, but they're releasing this in the summertime. It's got a lot of big stars in it.
I mean, Denzel
I
probably
could
has to cost some money,
see.
right?
Yeah, it's going to cost some money. And I mean, when you compare it to like a lot of the other blockbusters we've done, 80 million is like, probably below average. So it's not like a total crazy move, I don't think.
No, it's not like crazy bloated, but for a movie that's just like a pretty run of the mill political thriller. And when I say run of the mill, I mean like they're not doing anything like crazy flashy. 80 million seems a little steep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're not totally wrong. But against that $80 million budget, it's
I'm ready
going
for
to
it.
open
Let's hear it.
the weekend of July 30th through August 1st.
Okay.
It's going to be down in third place with just like a little bit over $20 million.
Ooh. That's true. That's true. Nobody Manchurian Candidate themselves into their seats for that movie.
Yeah, it's behind. It's shared an opening with The Village, which was last week's episode. As we said, Village opens number one. Born Supremacy is down here in second.
Yeah, it's
And
not.
I mean, Manchurian
That's
Candidate is pretty close to Born Supremacy's second week, but it's like a very distant third from The Village. So
yeah, not
not really great.
not great, especially off of a $80 million budget. 20 million is not what you want to be opening up to, and that 20 million going to be on the 56th position on our list, behind Seabiscuit's 20.8, and just ahead of Shanghai Nights 19.6.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah,
Not great at all, Bob.
not great company.
Uh, Going into weekend two, it's not gonna do better, right? It's gonna drop 48.8%.
We we
It's gonna drop down to fourth place with $10.2 million.
yeah. Oof, oof.
Still behind The Village and Port Supremacy, and then an opening this week, which is early front runner for my next pick, way back, way whenever that happens, Collateral.
Ooh, all right. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean we touched on that last week, how that and the Born Supremacy are like the two movies from this summer that I am like kick myself the most for not going to see.
Yeah, in this second week, it's going to narrowly edge out the fifth place movie,
Okay.
which feels worth mentioning.
Okay.
You remember the opening week of, do you remember Little Black Book?
Rom-com, right?
It's a rom-com, yeah, and it's
Brittany
like one of those
Murphy.
rom-coms where the guy's like, I got my black book and it's got all kinds of chicks in it, but maybe it's time to settle down. Like it's like one of those
Oh man.
movies.
Yes, I do remember. Yeah, Brittany
I'm
Murphy
trying
is
to
it, right?
I'm trying to look up who the lead was really quick.
I'm pretty sure it's Brittany Murphy.
Yeah, no, you're right. Brittany Murphy, I think, is the lead actress, but I'm trying to think, did she have the little black book or was it a
Yeah.
dude?
No, I think she's got the little black book because I don't think there's any like name dude in it.
Let's see. Oh my God, dude. So Brittany Murphy is the lead, right? We're gonna
Okay.
get to the bottom of this.
Okay, give it to me.
Brittany Murphy does not have the little black book. The plot is a woman snoops through her boyfriend's Palm Pilot and reveals his former girlfriends, which causes her to question why they're still listed in his little black book.
Oh my God. So what? She like hunts each one of them down and is like, "Why are you in this book?"
I don't know if it's that dramatic, but like I'm sure it causes strife in her relationship, right?
Oh
I will
my
give you a
God.
million guesses to who plays the male lead in 2004 in Little Black Book. You are never going to get this.
All right. Come on. I'm getting I don't you underestimate me. A-lister or that guy?
Uh, Probably more of a that guy, but he has been like a lead in things before.
In movies or TV?
In movies, and I think you could argue TV as well. Well, no, actually, no, you couldn't even argue TV. Like he's definitely had a streaming show,
It's
and he's
okay.
in
I got
what's often. I'll give you another big hint.
okay.
He is one of the ensemble in what is like maybe one like people laud as one of the best television shows of all time, HBO show.
One of the best HBO shows.
Yeah, that's actually a very tricky hint, but
Okay. Okay.
it is true what I just said.
Okay. This HBO shows. There's no way anyone from The Sopranos is in it.
Good call. It's definitely not from The Sopranos.
Okay. Early 2000s or mid 2000s for this HBO show?
It may have even been in the 90s, the HBO show.
90s.
Let me look it up really quick.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm almost sure it was in the 90s, actually. I
Well,
want to say it was 1999, but let
I'm
me
getting
double
too
check.
bogged down in TV because I'm a movie guy, and that's where I'm gonna win.
Okay, so this show came out in 2001.
Came out in 2001.
Yes.
Fuck. All right. I don't. I'm steering clear out of there. I gotta go back to movies. He's been a lead in a movie. in
He's
movies?
been a lead in a movie before, yeah. A
Popular
comedy.
movie or cult classic? Oh, comedy. Okay. Popular
It
movie?
was a very popular comedy, I'll say that. I don't know how well it did in theaters.
Very popular comedy. Not an
You
A-list.
gotta guess something, dude. We're in the middle of the box
You're right. You're
office.
right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just throw names out there. The whole point is I want to watch you get it wrong.
Uh, was the TV show Boardwalk Empire?
No.
Fuck. I don't know. Who was it?
It was Ron Livingston.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's why it
Office.
was so
Office
good.
Space. Office
I
Space.
wanted you to guess like Ryan Reynolds or like like early 2000s kind of like hunky dudes, like maybe Dane Cook like shows up somehow.
Oh, Dane Cook did monopolize that role in the 2000s. You're not wrong.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was just expecting you to guess some people. I didn't mean for it to turn into that.
Oh
But
no,
yeah,
I
Ron
was going full
Livingston.
20 questions on that one.
Yeah, Ron Livingston plays the male lead in Little Black Book. That I
Wow.
gotta go back and watch that. That's maybe up there with Collateral for movies we gotta
Amazing.
watch.
What was the TV show he was in that was on HBO?
He was in Band of Brothers.
Oh. Yeah, so
Yeah,
is
he's like,
everybody.
yeah, I said it was an ensemble, dude.
Fuck you.
What is that not what? Isn't there an ensemble in Band of Brothers? I
Well,
mean, come
yeah.
on.
I think the ensemble encompasses all of Hollywood. Everyone had like a 5 minute cameo in that.
Ben Stiller's not in
Yeah, you know of. He might have just been like heavily in makeup.
it. Yeah, okay, whatever you say, buddy. Uh, we'll keep following the Manchurian Candidate real quick though. That was quite the tangent. That's my bad.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's hanging around long in this top 10. So
No, 41.1% drop. In weekend three, it's going to come in seventh place with $6 million.
sinking like a stone.
It's behind opening in fourth place, Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie.
Oh boy. If you pick that, Jim, I swear to God.
I mean, it's not off the table. Let's say that.
You fucking
Uh, I'm not gonna go like too much more into this weekend.
Man, I'd be
Like
shocked if
these
this if
like
they get
weekends.
even
I'm just
another
gonna
week.
go out of the top 10, right?
Yeah.
So in weekend four, it's going to be down in eighth place with just over 4 million. And then in weekend five, dude, another movie, by the way, for weekends three, four, and five, just getting absolutely decimated by the Athens Olympics. Like, the
Dude, listen.
Athens Olympics are running roughshod over Hollywood, dude.
I think don't people don't realize how important the Summer Olympics are when they roll around. You add Athens in the mix too, like it's a perfect
Dude,
recipe.
Michael Phelps was at the Athens Olympics, wasn't
I don't know. In
Dude, I'm pretty
2004,
sure he was. You think anybody was going to the movies when Michael Phelps was winning all those gold medals? You're crazy, bro. No way.
I don't know. I could have sworn that was later when he became like a phenomenon, but I guess maybe he probably was like early days for 2004.
All right. Just because the Athens Olympics have been such a...
It's had such a weight on our shoulders over the last few episodes.
I am almost 100% sure that Michael Phelps like dominated the Athens Olympics. We're gonna go to his his Wikipedia really
I
fast.
was gonna say his IMDb. They have it all
Yeah,
on his IMDb page.
dude. I mean, the Athens Olympics are showing up on Box Office Mojo. How far is he from having an IMDb?
Oh, that is true. They're very seminal time in the theater that year.
Yeah, Michael Phelps, by the way, only 4 years older than us. He's quite a bit more accomplished, though. He's-
Just a smidge. I mean, we probably smoke as much weed as he does, but definitely the
yeah,
gold medals are probably lacking.
yeah. So at the Athens Olympics, dude, he won one, two, three, four, five, six gold medals.
Damn. Yeah, so
Yeah.
the
So you think
domination
people,
was
you think
around.
people were going to the theaters when Michael Phelps was taking over the swimming world, dude? Not a chance. No
Dude, I do
way.
not remember people talking about him at all when we in 2004.
Yeah. Well, I don't, maybe you weren't paying attention to the Athens Olympics, but the world was, TJ.
Yes, I wasn't. I don't know what I was doing. I was clearly lost in the sauce.
Yeah, but anyway, finally in weekend five, it's down in 12th place with 2.8 million.
What a shock. So 4 weeks in the top 10. Boy, oh boy. Gonna join Gonna join last week's movie, baby, The Village. 2 weeks in a row now. We can't get past 4 weeks.
Yeah.
We actually
I mean, dude, it's a hot
a lot
summer.
of movies from this summer that we've done so far. I've only done 4 weeks. We're looking at Day After Tomorrow, Garfield, The Terminal, Anchorman, The Village, and now Manchurian Candidate added. So 6 episodes of the summer movies that we've done so far for 2004, all only could hang around for 4 weeks.
Yeah. Dude, it's no joke back then. There's a lot of good movies coming out in the summertime.
I guess we didn't know how good we had it back then. Now I'm very curious to see if once again the international market's going to come to save what is definitely a box office bomb so far.
Yeah. Oh, right. Let's look at the totals. That's my bad.
It is your bad.
Uh, domestic, it's gonna pull in 65.9, let's call it. It's like pretty close to
Yikes.
66. Not great against that $80
Oof.
million budget.
Oof.
We've seen a lot of movies where this burgeoning international market comes to the rescue. Not gonna be the case this week. Internationally, it pulls in $30.2 million.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Which, I mean, King Arthur even pulled in almost 150, and like nobody wanted to see this movie in the rest of the world.
Yes, everybody
Uh,
collectively was like, "You are not Frank Sinatra." Like, I don't think so.
Correct, yeah. Everybody was like, not my Manchurian Candidate. Across the globe, they said that. Internationally, so for a worldwide total of $96.1 million,
You just
barely
missing
breaking
out.
its budget.
Yeah, barely making a budget back. Just missing out on that 100 million blockbuster threshold right there. The 96.1 is going to put us in the 65 spot behind Just Married's 101 million and ahead
Yikes.
of Anchorman's 90.7.
Yikes.
My word, oh word. Oof.
Terrible company for this movie to be in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like those two comedies have in their favor that their movies cost a fraction of what you could put the budget of Anchorman and Just Married together, and it's still not even close to the
Right.
budget of this movie.
Right. Totally.
Yeah, so it's just that's a worldwide bomb right there, not just domestically, not just internationally. Collectively, we've all agreed you suck.
Yeah. I mean, yes, the whole globe got together and repudiated it.
We all got Manchurian Candidate, and we're like, no, 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 no. I don't think so. Which is interesting because the reception doesn't so much reflect what the box office would be. You'd think it'd be a little bit higher given what the reception is. 79% from the critics, 63% from the audience. Which is not terrible. A
Yeah, I mean, not
Yeah,
great either, but
not great, but
79 from the critics, you said?
yeah. I mean
That's a pretty good number.
both of those are fresh. So that's a win there in its belt. 6.6 from IMDb, but the death sentence, Jim.
Oh boy, here we go. This is the one I was waiting for.
B plus cinema score.
You gotta get to an A minus. It's
Yeah.
an absolute prerequisite for your
Yeah.
movie to have any success.
If you don't get that A minus, like you might as well just pack. If you want longevity at the box office, you need that A minus.
Yeah, at least. If you do
Yeah.
better than that, it's even better. But the A minus is like the floor.
Yeah. It's just mm, mm. B's do not get degrees in the box office. That's for sure. Now we have some user reviews, Jim. Here to answer the age-old question for you: will somebody call Meryl Streep babe tonight?
Since I started watching this movie, I was dying to see what people had to say about the Bush administration, for one thing. And then I was dying to see if either the FBI agent or Meryl Streep would get called a babe. I'm like dying to know. Those are my burning questions going into this.
Let's not leave you in suspense any longer, my friend. We got our first one-star review here, and they write, this movie can't possibly be considered a political thriller because there is absolutely no thrill. Jonathan Demme and company have managed to erase every ounce of suspense from the story and give away way too much, way too soon. More than that, the creators of this film have obviously bought into the standard Hollywood political stance that big business is inherently evil. Have
Oh
they
boy.
looked in the mirror lately? Rather than update the script with a more modern and believable enemy than communism, they would have the audience buy into a story where a global defense logistics corporation has an easier time capturing and brainwashing soldiers and running them for office than they would say, oh, buying political favor from the Beltway blowhards. John Frankenheimer's tense and sweaty classic had so much more going for it. And it had a plausible plot. Hollywood needs to start treasuring its history and stop butchering it.
Oh my God. I mean, I he did kind of get in the lane of like not my Manchurian Candidate, but it seemed like he had a couple of good points anyway. It seemed,
Yeah. There are a couple of salient moments. Yeah, look in the mirror, Hollywood.
yeah.
You're
I
big
mean,
business.
this doesn't really take anything out of the movie for me, but the point I think he made, like he was cooking the most on, was when he said that it would just be way easier for them to like buy the US government than to like go through all these hoops. Like he's not wrong about that. It is a very silly premise.
And we'll dive into that. We'll get there. But yeah, he was cooking in the second half. That's for sure. Our next one star writes, I understand that right wingers are put off by this movie. Harumph. If anybody ought to be put off, besides discerning movie buffs, of course, it should be left wingers. This idiot movie posits the notion that powerful, moneyed interests could actually own and operate a vice presidential candidate. What an insult to the intelligence of those of us who have already long ago figured out that the current vice president is already owned and operated by a powerful, moneyed interest. And without brainwashing or computer chips drilled into his skull. Hey, here's an idea. Why not tell the story of a lugubrious vice president who willingly serves the evil, greedy aims of a global conglomerate, and by doing so profits obscenely? Oh, that's right. Someone's already done that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's so interesting to go back and read these old ones because we've come across 9/11 a bunch of times, right? And it's like it's almost like getting in a little window into like people's thought process back then because like people would bring it up at random times, right?
Yeah.
Now we're getting into 2004 and we're reaching the like, man, those guys are just profiting off 9/11. What sons of bitches arc. You know what I mean? Like that's like people at this point are just they're ready to like blame somebody near them for the thing too, you know? Like they're like we got to get this rage out somehow, you know?
He's like, I need to get my rage out, and there's only one place I can do it. IMDb.
Right. Yeah.
How
He
do I get
made a
all this?
bunch of malcontents the internet. What were we thinking, dude?
It's like I got all this political rage built up inside me. Someone get me
Yeah.
on the forums.
There's also like another one I want to call out about that last review. The absolute like mirror I'm looking in when people in politics are like, "You're not the victim, I'm the victim," and that's all anybody's saying to each other. Like, it's like,
It was like, you think right wingers should be mad? I should be
yeah,
mad.
right. It's like that is another thing. It doesn't get any better over the next 20 years. It
Yeah, right.
gets real dug in.
Yeah, listen, right and left definitely would figure out their beef over the next 20 years, right? There's no way they'd still be like this today.
Yeah. I mean, all but so far the one-star reviews, I don't know that I disagree with them necessarily. We'll keep going, but
I mean,
nothing too crazy yet. And so far, no Meryl Streep Babe references.
yeah, no Meryl Streep Babe references. Someone's gonna have to call me soon and activate my Manchurian Candidate because we need at least one chud here tonight, and it might have to be me. Damn it. Our next
Okay,
one-star review writes,
go do it.
must do it, pressed button. Our next one star, they write, after reading good reviews, I was expecting something other than this totally awful movie. The dark, menacing atmosphere of the 1962 film with Frank Sinatra, Lawrence Harvey, and Angela Lansbury remains one of the best political thrillers, reinforced by superb acting and the use of black and white photography. The remake has lifeless, muddled performances. Streep did not come across as believable and lacked the delightful
but
viciousness portrayed by Lansbury.
but
Washington provides a weak DeMarco versus one of Sinatra's best roles. The so called plot is completely unbelievable. Did they think they were doing a Matrix or a zombie film? There are so many holes that look like Swiss cheese.
got him.
Really zinged at the end. What a swerve there, Jim. They set up a streaper, but they didn't take it. They didn't
I
take the
was
bait.
waiting for it. I didn't take the bait. No.
They were good. They were good. Good job, 1 star review. We're giving you an olive branch on that one. And finally, Jim, one last 1 star reviewer here,
Okay.
and they write. Honestly,
You're gonna say it, aren't you?
honestly, this was the worst movie I've ever seen. Its plot was terrible and not at all cohesive. It was about a man who had dreams, and these dreams were about a vice president candidate. This man's life is almost totally run by his mother, a senator played by Meryl Streep, and a company called Manchurian Global. Manchurian Global is never explained, just that it is a company dealing with private equities. Meryl Streep works with this company. And this is a very confusing part. She is more famous than her son, yet she herself doesn't run for vice president. There is no background whatsoever on any of the characters. The filming was terrible because every time there was a conversation, the actor looked into the camera. This didn't appeal to me. Didn't appeal to me whatsoever. The best part of the entire movie was John Voight, who was barely in it. Disappointing. I only
Who
saw it
is
on
a total? He's a
TV.
what?
I only saw it on TV, so hopefully they explain more in the unedited version. Terrible. And I would never recommend it. Terrible. And I would never recommend it to anyone unless I wanted to see an enemy suffer. Jesus Christ, guy.
That guy's got to be a troll. That last line is too much. Not the enemy suffer thing, but he goes, I only saw it on TV. So maybe the unedited version is different. It's like it might be actually, yeah. Well, that's a good point. You should maybe go watch it.
Also, like, is there anything that happened in this movie that they would have to like edit out of like a cable version of this of a showing of this?
I think most of those movies they edit strictly to get them to fit into a certain time slot.
Absurd.
Like I'm pretty sure, like they obviously edited for content too, but I'm pretty sure any, like even a movie like that, like they'll cut things out of it, like just so that they can fit it in a 2 hour window and put commercials on it.
That's just nonsensical. Also, this one being over 2 hours, they'd be like, we gotta cut time here, boys.
Right, or I mean, maybe this one would be like 2.5, but it'd be like the movie is like close to 2 hours long. It'd be like 2.5 with like 40 minutes of
Bunch of
commercials or
yeah.
something, you know? So you gotta like find 10 minutes somewhere.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answers for this guy. All I know is that I'm glad I'm not an enemy of his because I do not want to suffer the wrath.
Yeah, what an insane thing to do to watch like the Manchurian Candidate on TBS and then go leave a review on
Yeah.
IMDb for it.
But Jim, we made it through 4 1 star reviews tonight, and not one of them said anything sexual.
Nice. Good for you, 1 stars. Maybe you guys are healing too.
Big win tonight for them. They did not froth at the mouth. They kept it cool as a cucumber. Good for you guys. And now we'll take a look at
I
some
bet,
testimonies.
yeah, I'll talk more to you about that later, but probably while we're not recording.
Now let's see if the 10 stars can bring us home and also not be crazy and cool as a cucumber. Let's
I mean, don't get me wrong, some of those 1 stars were a little crazy too. They just weren't like sexually crazy.
yeah, they were more reserved than we've normally seen from the 1 stars. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. And whether that's because not many people saw and reviewed this movie, or they're just like for whatever reason we're like, listen, guys, there's no need for us to talk about the Streeper's body parts. We're gonna keep this straight and to the point.
All right, how did our 10 star ones go?
So our first 10 star writes, excellent movie, though I can't compare to the original or book. Both myself and my wife thought it was the best suspense mystery thriller movie we've seen in years. The acting was excellent, as well as the plot. I don't know why it only has a 6.7 rating. Also, it was a very appropriate movie for a US election year. It's just too bad I didn't watch it before the election. And after you watch this movie, ask yourself this question: is our current president a Manchurian candidate? You should be able to guess my answer. Jesus.
Again, you could just buy him. There's no need to like drill into his brain at all.
Yeah, right. And back in 2004, just give him a bag of cocaine. All right. Allegedly, Jim. For God's sakes, pull yourself together.
Maybe a set of golf clubs. He liked golf, didn't
We will rein in this terror. Now watch this drive.
he? That's, I mean, you know what? The further we get away from that guy, the funnier he is. Like,
Dude, man, for whatever he did policy wise, that dude was a laugh riot.
it's just like such an American thing to do. Like, yeah, I'm gonna beat terrorism. Now I'm gonna drive this golf ball 340 on the fairway. Like, there's
Absolute,
nothing you can do about it.
an absolute legend. I remember in government class, they were showing us videos of his like campaign trail, and it was like a reporter on his bus, and they're like, if you could be any tree, what kind of tree would you be? And he's like, I wouldn't be a tree. I'm a bush. I was
That's
like,
like
he's the chosen one.
he's the goat. Yeah, that's imagine saying that while you're running for president. That's like the craziest. It's such a dumb joke. And I love it.
Exactly.
That's the best
Yeah,
part. It's hilarious,
yeah.
but just
Like,
man, what I would give. I don't even want to be the president. I just want to be able to run for president and make that joke. Like,
and just be
it's
like,
like it's got to be a lifetime highlight.
how many people you think voted for him because of that joke? Like, I know if I was old enough, I would have been like, yeah, that's my guy right there.
God only knows. You're telling me that guy makes that joke and then he like crushes a golf ball after he's like pointing out the terrorists? Like, yeah, of course people are voting for him.
Oh man, just an absolute, a godsend. Our next 10-star writes, God, you people don't know what the heck you are talking about. Denzel will always be way cooler than any of you. He is the flipping man. So what if the mom almost kisses the son? This stuff was gross. But I hope you all get attacked by ninjas. Anyway, who cares about the original? The only thing that was great about that movie was Frank Sinatra, and he's dead. God rest his soul. I love this movie, especially the remake of Fortunate Son by Wyclef Jean. You people don't get that it's not about the unbelievable plotline or the original. It's about how there are actual people that the government wanted to do this to, but decided not to. It's somewhat factual, and that's what counts. Besides, Meryl Streep is the perfect megalomaniac mother. It's a choice
Ah.
role for her. I say good acting and a good movie. Dot, dot, dot. Eat it.
Dot 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 eat it is insane.
This man took us on a ride, Jim.
Yeah. I got nothing. How do I top dot 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 eat it? That's an all timer, man.
I don't think you can. It was just, I don't think that one can be topped. Oh God.
I got nothing to say about it.
No notes. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 on that guy's 10
Yeah,
out of
right,
10.
exactly. I give that a 10 out of 10 on the 10-star review.
Oh my God. All right, Jim, we got one last 10-star review here before we're home free without any chuds saying something perverted. Can we get
Yeah,
there?
I think we can do it.
Let's find out. The Manchurian Candidate is an incredible film with a smart script and absolutely outstanding performances. Unfortunately, the user rating on IMDb for this film seems to be plagued with fans of the original that hated this film before they saw it, and a bunch of die-hard Bush supporters. This
Oh
film
no.
this film had received well-deserved critical acclaim. It's not hard to see why. Jonathan Demme has updated the original with such intelligence and creativity that it basically is as good, if not better, than the original. The entire cast is wonderful, and Lee Schreiber does a surprisingly good job. Meryl Streep? Ah, dear Meryl Streep. This film just proves that she is the best actress on the planet. She
Oh,
gives an absolutely terrifying performance as Eleanor Shaw. This film is an absolute masterpiece, which, in my opinion, is a lot better than the original. Have I said it's better than the original yet? The strong, politically charged plot isn't for everyone, but if you're in the mood for it, this is one of the best. We
okay.
got there, Jim.
Yeah, we did it. Clean sweep.
Clean sweep. No chuds. No
Everybody was
chuds.
just focused. Well, no, I mean, there was probably some chuds in there. It's just an election year. They're a little more focused on politics for a movie like this.
Very true. Very true. But all right, Jim. I think we could turn our attention over to us now. Where do you fall on this is so bad that it should be insulting to left wingers, or eat it?
I'm, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty close to eat it. I'm pretty close to, like, so a lot of the reviews here are calling this movie like like they're asking for suspense. You know, some people are saying it's lacking the thrills for a thriller. Political thriller's been thrown out a few times. The first 45 minutes of this movie is none of those things, right? The first 45 minutes of this movie is a horror movie, and it is fucking spectacular. It is,
Yeah, it is. It is absurd, the whole like first beginning of this movie. And I think what I like the most about it is that it really doesn't give you anything. It just kind of throws you in and it's just like
yeah.
try and keep up.
Dude, I mean, the opening scene, they have like that quick little like card game when they're soldiers, right? Anthony Mackie makes an appearance, by the way, which just like, oh my
All
God.
all timer right there. Yeah, when they showed
Yeah,
up in that, and I was like, dude, is that Anthony Mackie in the back? No fucking way. And then Jeffrey
yeah,
Wright's in there also.
yeah. You know who else? Did you ever watch The Wire?
Nah, a long time ago. I
One of the lead characters from The Wire is the guy that Denzel Washington shoots in the head. Like from season 2 of The Wire, he's like one of the main characters.
I mean, unless you say his name, I'm not gonna.
I don't remember his name. I'm not looking
So,
it up.
and so you lost that beat.
Yeah. But anyway, it's like it's a horror movie. Like from that first scene after like when Denzel Washington's making the speech and Jeffrey Wright like approaches him like after the speech in the hallway. The way that scene is shot is so fucking unsettling. Like they're like putting Jeffrey Wright in like the center of the camera a lot and they're doing all these like really like close-up shots that make everything feel like super claustrophobic. Um, and Jeffrey Wright is clearly a fucking maniac. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a horror movie, and it's freaking me out just watching that. And like that goes on for like basically the first like 40 to 45 minutes of this. Like when Denzel's like finding all the like demon like drawings on the walls of his apartment, and he's got like all kinds of like weird evidence, and he's having the dreams like when he sees the girl on the train and all of a sudden like a big bullet hole pops up in her forehead, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all like really would feel like really classic horror movie beats. And like I that first 45 minutes is so good to me just because it's of how it's shot and how like balls to the walls it is, you know?
Yeah, well, it makes you feel. It does a very good job of ratcheting up like just tension in the beginning and making you feel unsettled, like you said.
Yeah,
That you're just like you feel like you're in Denzel Washington's shoes where it's like you don't know what's going on and you're just like I don't want him to delve into this because it's like there's no good's gonna come of it and I'm just fucking unsettled right now.
right, right.
Yeah. I think what I'm with you on all that. The opening of this movie, like I was invested, I was in. I think what kills this movie for me, and our one star has kind of touched on it a little bit, is once we start to reveal the layers and we start to see like behind the curtain and what the reasoning is, the
Right.
movie is fucking stupid. Like the
Yeah, oh,
reasoning,
it's
what they're
really
doing
stupid. Yeah.
is like so beyond absurd. Like it's and especially like being far removed from it now, where we're like, yeah, like the corporation could have just like bought the White House. Like you could have saved yourself so much time and hassle and just like did your way in. Like It can be done.
Yeah, so I mean, at one point in this movie, the mom, who is like in working in tandem with the evil corporation, activates her winter soldiery son to go murder a senator. Like, and
There's
by the
got to
way,
be a better way.
right, and by the way, her son is a candidate for the vice president of the United States, and she's like, I'm gonna have him personally go murder that senator. It's like maybe not a great plan.
Not a great plan. Especially when it's just like there's just easier ways to do everything that was happening in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean you're right. Like when you get to the meat and potatoes, it's stupid. And I think you're hitting on something here that I notice in a lot of horror movies,
Mm.
that end up ultimately being pretty subpar, is they exist early and through the middle, basically entirely on vibes, which is like what we're saying about this movie so far, right? Is like
Yeah.
they're doing a good job of making us feel uneasy and like building maybe a little bit of mystery. And there's a lot of like really tense scenes that are hinting at what happened, but they're also like very like graphic, you know? Um, but it's existing like entirely on vibes. And then at some point the bill becomes due on like a story and like you need to like answer some of the mysteries and then like things need to happen that like culminate in an ending, right? And when they get into that stuff, that's when it leans more into being a political thriller, and I think that's when this movie starts to fail, like basically on every level. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because it doesn't help that they need to like, I don't know if they felt the need that it's like we need these big showy action set pieces. So it's like we have this scene now where we're gonna send the vice president elect to go murder a senator and also like collateral damage the love of his life at the same time. Also,
right.
Vera Farmiga shout out right there, like
Yeah,
also awesome. Uh and then like
absolutely. Yeah, that was a good one.
yeah, and then build it up to an absolutely just like it just makes it's so insane to me that her plan was I'm going to work with this corporation so that we can buy our way into the presidency. And the way we're going to do that is that we're going to kidnap a platoon that my son is a part of. We're going to brainwash all of them so that my son
Right.
and the captain will be able to be activated whenever we want them to. And then we're going to have him get the Medal of Honor so that way he could run eventually to be the vice president on the ticket. And then when they get sworn in, we just have him immediately, as soon as they get sworn in, just murder the fucking president and he becomes the president. And it's like, I
Yeah,
feel like there's an easier way. Like,
yeah. Again, at the very least, you could probably just like do a much less work in staging the Medal of Honor. You know what I'm saying? Like they wouldn't be the first people who've pulled some political strings to get a Medal of Honor for somebody they want to get it, you know?
it's pure insanity. Like it blows my mind when they start to peel back the layers of this movie that I'm like, this is crazy. Like this is
Yeah, and it's like they already control like the world. Like their investors are, John Voight says it. They're like ex-prime ministers and like former dictators and like all these like heads of state from all around the world are like investors in this company from what John Voight is telling us. So like how much more power, like what are they even gaining by getting the president like brainwashed? Like I don't understand. Like they already have everything, you know?
like you literally and it just it's so much. But I feel like they could have done like something a little bit more believable. Like I wonder this movie probably would have felt way more ahead of its time if she was working in tandem with the corporations to like use the early stages of the internet to try and create like factions of people that would buy
Yeah,
into and help
yeah,
elect his son. It's like that's pretty much what happens in the future. So it's like that would be pretty prescient. But for this one to just be like, no, 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 what it actually is that we've just fucking psychoanalytically like brainwashed people to murder the president. Like that's how we're gonna get
right.
it.
No, it's absurd. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
absurd. And
and And it's like, and I don't mind absurd in a movie. Like I have plenty of movies that I love that have absolutely absurd, could never happen in real life premises that work. The
Yeah,
difference is with this is that there's a line of believability. And when you're going to do something absurd, you have to make sure that you are on that line perfectly. Because if you jump that line, there's no getting your audience back once you've jumped that shark for people.
yeah.
And as soon as they reveal that in this movie, it feels like they not only like jumped over the line, they just fucking shot a cannon past it.
Yeah, when they start focusing on the political intrigue of it all, and like you said, the layers start to come back, it gets so much worse so fast. Like,
It's insane, and it's a shame because the first half of this movie, when he's like slowly doing the slow investigative work to like unravel what's going on, is solid base and is like really good. Like
right,
I was into the beginning of this movie.
unravel what's going on while also he's unraveling. You know what I mean? And he doesn't really know what's real, and like you can see all the subtle signs that he looks crazier and crazier, like the deeper he digs into it. Like one of the scenes I really like, and it's like it's the small things for me in this movie that make it like great at times, right? It's toward the end of that like 45-minute period when it's starting to get bad and he like bumps into somebody on the street in New York, like
Yeah,
outside Penn Station, and his papers go everywhere. And he's like, we understand why he's so upset. You know what I mean? But I feel like you've been on a street in New York before when like you see that guy and you're like, that guy's fucking nuts. Like, what is that guy's deal? Like he like ran into that dude and now he's yelling at everybody like to get away from his papers, you know?
it's like, well, just
So like
watch it, just watch it.
yeah,
Hey, don't touch my
right,
papers.
right. And he slowly goes from like somebody making a speech to the Boy Scouts, right? And like at the end, like that Boy Scout leader, such a great scene for this movie because it's silly, but it's at least interesting when the Boy Scout leader stands up and he's like, "On behalf of Troop 310 and
Eh,
315, we just want to say thank you for everything you did over there." And it's like, it's a silly scene, but he's like a respected dude, you know what I mean? And like he goes from there and slowly but surely gets to the guy like shooing people away from his papers outside of Penn Station, you know? And it's like it's so cool the way that happens.
yeah, yeah, and it's just a shame that they bungle it because again, just stellar Denzel Washington performance. Man never phones it in.
Yeah, he's incredible. And the scenes with him and Liv Schreiber are like amazing. Like all of them. Like when he first approaches him, not at the party, but when he's with him at like his campaign office and like he like kind of worms his way in and he's talking to him through the thing and at each step Liv Schreiber's like, "Ah, come on, you can keep coming." Like, you know.
Dude,
But
also like how fucking strong is his bite radius that he managed to
yeah,
bite into the implant in his fucking back and pull it out? It's like Jesus,
right.
guy.
Right, like that whole scene, the tension is just constantly building. You know what I mean? Like, and you can see like how Liv Schreiber goes from when they're outside with everybody. He's like the affable, like quick-witted politician, you know what I mean? And he's kind of like brushing it all off with like real like poise, you know? But he for some reason keeps inviting him back further into the realm, and then like eventually it's just the two of them in a room and you can see Liv Schreiber like starting to crack as they're talking about it, you know what I mean? Like, and that all culminates in Denzel Washington biting him in the back and getting tackled by Secret Service, which again, to a vice presidential candidate, like,
Is insane. Yeah.
like
It's
they
like
would
so
put that guy under the jail and like they're just like, what are we gonna do? He's not gonna press charges.
yeah, like he's like a press charges, so you're free to go. And they're just like, really? Really? That guy would never see daylight again.
Yeah, dude, another crazy tense scene. After he like he runs into the lady on the train and then like bumps into her again after he's off the train and he ends up back at her apartment. That whole scene when the whole time I'm like, why did this lady invite him to her apartment? That's like a crazy thing to do. And I know that he's totally unraveling, but to her, he's just like the guy at the grocery store, you know?
Yeah.
And like that, there's so much tension there because the whole time I'm just waiting for something to go terribly wrong. You know what I mean? And he's there for like a while.
Yeah, you're just waiting for him to do something that's just gonna like blow everything up.
Yeah. And then, I mean, and it escalates so well. Like when he gets out of the shower and it's been tense now for like a good couple of minutes, and then he starts like stabbing himself in the back with a knife and like pops that thing out, and then she busts in. And the first thing he does, he doesn't acknowledge her at all. He starts like stabbing her drain, like to try
Yeah.
to get the thing back. Like they just, man, they do such a good job of making him look like a nut job, you know?
All right. She's not immediately like, get out of my house or my apartment, wherever the hell we are.
Yeah, why, like she
When I-
invited him there in the first place. And then that
Well,
also
we
kind of
weren't
pays
because
off
she's
in a
not.
way, though.
She's the undercover FBI agent.
Right, she doesn't have much to be afraid of as far as she's concerned.
Well, also, like, just another just ridiculous thing. Like, the FBI also wouldn't be in the pocket.
Yeah, no, dude, the FBI is on the front lines fighting against Manchurian Global, dude. And
Yeah,
guess what? Patriot Act, Big Brothery kind of shit, actually a good thing because they use it to get Denzel off the hook, okay?
it's true. Yeah, they do.
Like,
They're like, listen, we're just gonna have someone from Manchurian Global take the heat on this one. Go, you
yeah,
good, bro?
as long as you're superimposing bad guys and like pinning political assassinations on them, it's okay. It's encouraged.
It's like we know you just shot the president elect and the vice president elect and the fucking senator from Virginia, but
Yeah.
this one's on us, bro.
But you got a raw deal, man. We'll let you go. It's just like, and we'll also pin it on an entirely different human being using the power of computers.
It's just like, dear God, man, like absurd. It's so absurd. Like it's two halves of a movie, man. It's like
Right.
it's so
Yeah.
insane. It's so
It's
insane.
it's maybe the worst case of that we've seen because like
Yeah,
I
it's a
I think you can
jarring
tell I'm like
split.
raving ad nauseum about the beginning of this movie because I really loved it, you know,
Yeah,
and then it just like it's completely night and day for what
yeah.
happens in the last like again
Just
like the last like 45 50 minutes.
it just goes right off the rails. Like when he's in the hotel room and all of a sudden they're just like they just have a hole in his closet, like into a laboratory. It was like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here, guys?
That was amazing. That was amazing.
There's a
That
South African scientist in there.
that that is also absurd, but where it was like everything around it was so good, I was willing to suspend disbelief at that point. You know what I mean? Like I was willing to be like, okay, sure, they're an all-powerful corporation. They could do that, I guess. Like,
We just build this fucking epic laboratory like in this upscale like apartment that he's probably in.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's so, so yeah, it's my God. Yeah, I don't really know that I have what else I could possibly say other than this movie is just two halves of one really exciting portion and one like, my God, what am I even watching portion.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and I mean, I don't really have much else left to say about the movie either. Like, I think we could probably sum it up a little bit when we do our star ratings later, but uh, there's not much like new stuff I have to say. I think I covered most of the scenes I thought were really incredible and why.
And I mean, like it's got good production value. Like Jonathan Demme is a great director, and yeah, good performances. Like even when it does get ridiculous, like it helps that you have like these huge actors that can still sell like what is like absolutely ridiculous in the three of
Yeah.
them.
Well, I wanted to bring Jonathan Demme up
Bring them up, bring them
because
up,
I
bring them
mean,
up.
I think it made a lot of sense for me when I looked this up because I think like again like he's really showing on the screen in the beginning of this, but like let's just take a look at some of the
He
better movies he's directed.
he died, right?
Yeah, in 2017, I believe.
Damn.
1978, he directs an episode of Columbo.
Ooh, all right.
First thing worth bringing up. It's pretty great TV credit.
That's a good start right there.
There's a lot of movies here I've never heard of, and I may have to change that. 1984, he directs the Talking Heads live for Slippery People.
God.
I mean, this is like he's done a bunch of movies by where I've scrolled to at this point, but nothing that I recognize.
Nothing that we've seen.
And let's
Big
see.
deficits in the Jonathan Demme directorial movies.
All right, so let's start in 1988. Do you remember the movie Married to the Mob?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
I've seen Married to the Mob. That was a pretty cool movie. I mean, I
It's
watched
like
it probably when I was like a very young kid.
yeah, it's like Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, then let's get to the movie that the beginning of this movie most reminds me of in his filmography. And this may be a very hot take, but 1991, he directs The Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah. Fucking that's a 5-star classic right there.
Yeah, it's like one of the best movies ever, ever.
Yeah. And I mean I can see what you're saying in regards to like how it has like the kind of like horror thriller to it. This movie based on like
Yes,
especially like because he does a lot of that very well and expertly throughout The Silence of the Lambs.
right. And that's another movie where people will call it like suspense or a thriller. And for that one, I wouldn't even say those are necessarily wrong. But The Silence of the Lambs is a horror movie. You know what I mean? Like that's 100% what it is. 1993, he directs. This might be the first movie he does with Denzel. 1993, he directs Philadelphia.
Oh, another classic right there.
Another classic, yeah.
Yeah, great movie right there.
And then not much else. Let me keep going. There's definitely other stuff we're gonna run into, but I'm trying to see if there's any other. I mean, those are two 90s heavy hitters. I don't know that we're gonna see anything like that for a while.
I mean, you don't want to talk about Beloved, his gothic psychological horror drama film?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Neither have I, but I'm following along as you're going through this, and I just happened to click on that one, and it looks absolutely insane. Can I read you the plot for this without you looking at it, Jim?
Sure.
So, Beloved stars Oprah Winfrey and Danny Glover. The plot centers on a formerly enslaved woman after the American Civil War, her haunting by a poltergeist, and the visitation of her reincarnated daughter.
That
Jesus.
sounds incredible. That's-
Oh my
I,
God. Jim, the movie is 172 minutes long.
oh
Jesus.
my God. We have to watch it, dude.
We have to.
We
Dude,
must.
C plus cinema score. Of course it did. Everyone was gonna hate that. Misunderstood.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my
Uh,
God, dude. I need to watch that like immediately.
yeah, it sounds amazing. Like,
Yeah.
at least it sounds at least worth a watch.
Yeah. Dear Lord. Yep. All right. Putting that one on the list.
2002. Have you ever seen The Truth About Charlie?
No, there's no Mark Wahlberg movie, right? It's a remake, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is a Mark Wahlberg movie.
We go. Jonathan Demme
All
and
right.
Mark Wahlberg. There's a match made in heaven.
Then 2004, he does The Manchurian Candidate, and then I don't. This might be the.
The end.
It might be. I'm trying to see how many more feature films he does after that that are like recognizable.
Well, I mean, can you really go any higher than Beloved?
No, you can't. I don't recognize any of these other ones. I really just wanted to bring them up so I could be like, he directed Silence of the Lambs, and this movie was kind of like that.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy that he has like back to back all timers in Silence and Philadelphia, and then is just all over the place after that.
Yeah, like really all over the place. He does a bunch of other features, but I'm guessing that like neither one of us knows what any of them are.
No, I've never, the three that show up after Manchurian Candidate, I've never even heard of. So it's a loss.
Let's go see what this did for awards really quick.
Oh boy. I can only imagine.
Dude, oh wait, I'm not gonna jump the gun on this. It says
Oh,
it's nominated for a BAFTA award,
God, dude. What?
which is which seems insane.
Yeah, that seems absurd. There's no way.
Do you want to take a stab in the dark at who got nominated for the BAFTA?
Is it Meryl Streep?
Yes, it's Meryl
Of course it
Streep.
is, bro. Like that that's a slam dunk right there.
She did have a couple of good good monologues though. I'll give her that.
No, I mean she's phenomenal in the movie. Like that scene in the her opening scene when she just shreds apart like the rest of the Democratic like convention, like and basically bullies them into putting her son on the ticket is in
Yep.
like she it's an all-timer scene. Like she's so goddamn good in that.
Yeah. And it's like it really is like such good political red meat for 2004.
Yeah.
Uh all right. This is the only other thing worth mentioning here in awards.
Okay.
Meryl Streep is also going to be nominated for Best Actress. Oh, the BAFTA she was nominated for was Best Supporting Actress, by the way.
Okay.
Uh, the she's also nominated for Best Actress at another awards, the AARP Movies for Grown-Ups Awards.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'll tell you what, AARP. I don't think a grown-up would say movies for grown-ups. I don't
All
think they
right.
would name their award show that.
Oh my God. We're the
I think
AARP
I think
award for
you're
people over 40 that like to enjoy cinema.
that name's a little defensive, if you ask me. I think. Where do you think you're a grown-up, AARP?
Isn't AARP for like seniors?
Yeah, that's like the retirement thing. Yeah.
But just like I love that Meryl Streep, even from all the way back from Out of Africa and Sophie's Choice.
You know what? I back every bad word I said about these. You know who won Best Actress in the last AARP Movies for Grown-Ups Awards?
Oh.
Demi Moore for The Substance. I take it all back. They're amazing.
Still around today. God,
Yeah, this was just like this year probably.
man. They're like, well, why would we go away? There's still grown-ups, aren't there?
Yeah. For now, AARP.
Or
Enjoy
no.
it while it lasts.
You said for her one she got nominated, right? She didn't win.
She didn't win, no.
Who won her one?
I just closed it. Hold on, I gotta
You
reload
son
it.
of a bitch.
Well, I thought we were done with it. Mine's like,
Yeah, but now you've tickled my ivories.
okay. We can look at the AARP Movies for Grown-Ups Awards.
Yeah, Jim, I don't know if you've noticed, but we are in fact grown-ups. You know, it doesn't seem like it. But it says it on
What?
my
Like, I'm a real grown-up. I don't go around talking about how much of a grown-up I am. Like,
says it on my ID. GU grown up.
no, you're such a lie. What's going on over there in New York, man?
You don't want to know. Our pets' heads are falling off.
We're getting there. I didn't fall into the trap of clicking on the 1962 one by mistake.
There you go.
That would have set us back like probably like
There's
three
that.
minutes.
This little maneuver is gonna set us back 30 years.
Oh yeah, we were looking at the awards. We're gonna go to the BAFTAs, right?
The
Or
AARP
no, the movies for grown-ups. The movies for grown-ups.
movies I don't care about the movies for Brits. I'm here for the movies for grown-ups.
That's right. And famously, no grown-ups in Britain.
I know. Are you kidding me? Have you ever been over there? Famous for not having grown-ups. They're living like the Jimmy Neutron movie. Call that a callback. I'll be here all night. Is what I get for asking a simple question.
It's not that you asked the question; it's that you asked it like 6 seconds too late.
Yeah, it's
It's
like what?
like,
It's like how could you ask a question 0.006 seconds after the topic that we were talking about that I thought I finished speaking on?
the AARP Movies for Grown-Ups Awards, Best Actress category. Um, some of these are so silly. Lily Tomlin gets a nomination for I Heart Huckabees, which I think she should have won. That's my pick. Cloris Leachman for Spanglish. Susan Sarandon for Shall We Dance.
Did
I
this
think
have
that's
to be
another.
like? Did they have to be over like 40?
I guess that's the idea. Is that what it is? They're giving awards to seniors, and they just have a terrible name.
Do you consider
Like,
over
is
40
that
for
is that what
seniors?
they're telling me?
I mean, AARP would assume that they'd be like, we're going to give it to veterans.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know.
Maybe
But
one day they were
anyway,
flipping through, they were watching the Teen Choice Awards with their grandkids, and they were like, we should really have one of these for us.
the ultimate winner is Anne Reed from the movie The Mother. I don't know who
Sure.
either of those names
Yeah,
are.
never fucking heard of that. What? Wow. After all that, talk about
I know it was
an
totally not worth the wait.
anticlimactic.
It
Yeah.
was it was a bummer. It
What a flaccid finish that was.
and it wasn't like what was I gonna give you Spanglish and ask you to guess who the like who got nominated for Best Actress from that?
Man, swing and a miss on that one. Oh, good for you, Anne Reed. Good for you.
And that's really all it. That's really all I got for awards. Nobody else really worth talking about. Denzel we'll see again.
I mean, we pretty much we never really miss a Denzel movie when it's on the docket, except for this one, and maybe another one, and another one after that.
I mean, all
After
right,
that,
not all of them,
yeah,
but
but
you get
after
it.
that, we're there. All right, Jim. I'm ready to hear it queued up. Do you think which drop do you think Ebert wants tonight?
I am gonna go with.
This is the most unpleasant movie to look at that I can remember. Gene, I sat there appalled. They put almost nothing on the screen.
Jim, I think it's about time we make a divorce from Roger Ebert because
No way. What?
another week you couldn't be more wrong. The Ebes rocking 3 stars out of 4 on this bad boy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He was hard on it. He was up in it.
Does he say like? Do you have any like quotes from him?
I don't have a blurb on this one because they didn't have something for me here, and I didn't really want to read through his entire one. Let's see right here if we can find something good from him. Do we have anything good? He But here's his ending to this review. What we can say is that Demi has taken a story we thought we knew and while making it its outlines mostly recognizable, rotated it into another dimension of conspiracy. Are corporations really a threat to America's security? The rotten ones are. When you consider that the phony California electric crisis with its great cost in lives and fortune was an act of corporate terrorism, he has a point.
Oh my God, Ebert's. It's an election. You can tell it's an election year.
Big election year. What an end to his review. Really putting it out into the corporate overlords.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess is that why everybody, like all the Bush people, were saying they were mad in the reviews and stuff? Like, is because it's anti-corporation?
Yes, I guess. Is it really like anti-corporation or like anti-corporations doing psyops?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's anti-corporation. Yeah, I would say that's why the corporations are doing psyops in the movie. That's why I think it's pretty anti-corporation.
Oh man. Like, why do psyops when we can just data farm?
Yeah.
So much easier.
It's like we don't need to brainwash anybody. We just got to give them like Twitter.
They'll brainwash themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Red pill themselves, those fucking idiots.
It's like it's way easier to brainwash people than you thought. You just need to like say tweets a bunch of times over and over again, and all of a sudden lots of people will believe them. Like,
They're like, why kidnap people and brainwash them when we can just have an idiot billionaire buy Twitter and then just have him post a bunch of crazy racist shit on it? They're like, man, it's genius. Why didn't we think of that?
yeah, if Manchurian Global was smart at all, they even hint at it in the movie too. The guy's like, what did he say about the internet? Like John Voight called it like a haven for like lunatics lunatics and crazies, basically.
That might have been the smartest thing they said in that movie.
Yeah, it
Probably the
was
most.
like, yeah, you're not wrong, bro.
You're not wrong. There'll be a lot of crazy people on that thing in a couple of years. All right, Jim. I'll turn it over to you. Let's hear that final thought, final rating for the Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love the beginning of it, like to the extent that I was sitting here wondering if I had to give this movie 5 stars. Like I was like, there's no way, right? Like, am I actually going to do that? And then I was like, there's no way that the beginning doesn't at least carry it to a Doctor Dolittle 2 kind of like 4, like a Doctor Dolittle 2 award 4, where it's just doing what it's trying to do so well that like I can't not give it a good grade. And then it like completely falls apart, and like I don't think it's even near worthy of either of those things anymore. And it's like amazing to me how far that it fell. So I still have to give it like a decent score though, because it was really incredible for like a long stretch. So I am gonna give this a just like a 2.5. I'm gonna go right in the center.
It's not bad. Yeah, it is crazy how strong of a start it is, and it just sinks its lead so like just every step of the way that it can. That should be studied because that was like I can't think of a movie we've done that managed to just bungle that lead that like efficiently.
Yeah, like it would have to be really bad for me to not at least think it was pretty good, and it was. It was, and then some.
Yeah. I'm probably right around there. I think I'm gonna go just below you and give it a tour. And that two is basically just for that first like portion of that movie that is like gets me invested. But then you just spend the rest of the movie ruining all that investment. And by the end of that movie, you just made me mad that I sat through like the second half of this. And it was like, you sons of bitches, like you just angered me relentlessly by the whole like race to the finish on this movie that I was like, man, you gave me nothing of what I actually wanted out of this movie.
Yeah.
So disappointing on my front. So with a two from me and a 2.5 from you, Jim, going to give us an overall score of a 4.5. And let's find some 4.5s to do some battle with. We got a couple. So our first battle here, Jim, do you take the Manchurian Candidate or do you take Head of State?
The Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, I would still take the Manchurian Candidate over Head of State. Do you take Head of do you take Head of State? Do you take the Manchurian Candidate or Broken Lizards Club Dread?
Oh man, probably Club Dread. Yeah.
Yeah, I would take Club Dread over that easy. All right, so it's gonna settle into the number 58 spot, sandwiched in between those two movies. But we have two more 4.5ers. Let's just see, Jim. So Manchurian Candidate or Martin Lawrence's Black Knight?
Oh my God. I think I have to take Manchurian Candidate.
Really? My word. Uh,
I don't know. Maybe Black Knight.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Black Knight really it was funny, but it wasn't really that good.
Yeah, I mean Black Knight's not really that good, but the jokes are great. Like story wise, Black Knights is nonsense, but the jokes with Martin Lawrence are great in it. And while the
Yeah.
Manchurian Candidate has that great opening, I don't know that I ever really want to sit through the Manchurian Candidate again.
I mean that's fair. Yeah, you're not wrong.
So I'm gonna take Black Knight. I'm gonna go Black Knight. Because if you sat me down right now and were like, you have to pick one of those movies to watch, I'm picking Black Knight, easy, no questions asked.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
fair. And that usually is like a good barometer to use for this.
yeah. And so now sitting at the top of the 4.5s, Jim, epic battle here. Do you take the Manchurian Candidate or do you take SWAT?
SWAT.
Yeah, SWAT. That's an easy win there. SWAT, deservedly so, sitting at the top of the 4.5s.
Maybe the best 4.5 movie ever made.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely in for contention right there. I think those 4.5s. I think that's we've ranked them properly.
Yeah, for the
I
most
think
part.
I think
I
those
mean
all.
it'll be interesting to see as we, because what I've noticed is as time goes on, there's some things I still agree with, and then other things where I'm kind of like, what were we thinking, given it that score? Like both on the high end and the low end. So,
But for right now, I think though the 4.5s are sitting pretty. Um, now,
or at least what I'll say is every time we've gone back and redone a number, I feel like we put them in a different order, or at least I do.
yeah, yeah, that's usually the case though. Uh, Now we didn't guess in this episode. I believe you did last week, but it didn't show up in this one what our return episode now is for next week. Do you remember what it was, or do you want to take another guess?
You said it wasn't Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, right?
It was not Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
I don't remember. Did we
Uh,
find it?
we found it last week, and you were frothing at the mouth. But we didn't. You didn't mention it
Oh,
this week when we did it. So I'm
oh,
curious to see if you remember.
I don't know that I do. If I went back and looked, I could probably find it, but just tell me what it is.
It's an epic all-timer team-up movie. Jim, we're doing Alien versus Predator.
Oh, that's right. AVP. How could I forget?
How can you forget AVP? Some might say Paul W.S. Anderson's magnum opus.
Others might say a really questionable decision.
We're gonna find out next week just where we lie on that. I don't think I've watched that movie since I saw it in theaters. I remember absolutely hating it back then. And I'm gonna be honest, I can't imagine liking it now either. But we're
I
gonna do
don't
it.
I don't know that I've ever seen it, and this is one of those movies where I regret doing the show because I would have really liked to have gone through life having never seen it.
Well, Jim, that's not the way life is turned for you. You are absolutely gonna go through life having seen it. If I'm
Bummer.
gonna have any say in the matter, it's time for you to eat your vegetables.
Damn.
What was the last thing you jammed on?
I've been watching a lot of the NBA playoffs, so I haven't been watching as
Nice.
many movies,
Been
but I've been
watching the
watching a lot of
Knicks.
Knicks games, which
I
is
was gonna
fun.
say, yeah, I've actually been watching too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I've been if there's one sport that Big Rob has been able to get me to enjoy and be in on, it's basketball.
Yeah. Every New Yorker loves basketball.
Yeah. I mean, I like it's fast paced, and I like a fast paced game.
Yeah, and it's but the Knicks games have been fun to watch too.
I've been, especially this run at least now facing the Celtics. So I feel you on that one.
What about you? What have you been jamming on?
So the last thing I actually went and saw was last night. Me and Ryan went to the theater because they were showing for one show only the director's cut of Kingdom of Heaven.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you mentioned that. How was it?
Dude, it was just masterful. On the big screen, it fucking looked great. It was just so good. And I loved every second of it. I forgot it was 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's
The
a really
director's cut.
long movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, and it's a fucking journey. Funniest thing about it though is the theater was about two-thirds full, and when we walked in, every single person there, because it's stadium seating, so when you walk in, you can see like the entire theater from where everybody is. As we walked in,
Uh-huh.
all white dudes, not a
Yeah.
single woman in there, not a single person of color, just all white dudes
Yo,
throwing down
white
on
dudes
Kingdom of
are
Heaven.
obsessed with the Crusades, dude. Like,
Dude,
like in a very weird way.
yeah, it hilarious. Just all varying ages, but all white dudes. And when we walked in, I saw that, I just started laughing. I was like, this is so funny. Like it's just all white dudes. I'm like, man, I was like, we're all here for Orlando Bloom, baby.
For like, yeah, that's why they're there. It's not because they want to do it again.
They were like, man, I would love to fucking do this
They
again.
definitely, I would bet you at least like a third of those guys really relate to the villain, the guy who's like trying to take the throne from the leper.
Yeah, Gee, you
Yeah,
won't have
Guy,
my
that's right. Yeah, his name's
crusades.
Guy.
Yeah, give me my crusades. I was there for Orlando Bloom.
Well, yeah, you and Ryan were obviously.
Yeah, obviously Orlando Bloom and a very, very powerful Ava Green.
Yeah, of course. How could I forget her?
Of course, she's a fantastic actress in the early 2000s. So yeah, but yeah, it was great. It was great to see that on the big screen. The director's cut is fantastic, and I am not looking forward to when we come up to that episode here because we're gonna have to watch the theatrical cut, which I've never touched since we saw it originally, and I can only imagine how horrible that is.
Yeah, I mean, I did not enjoy the theatrical cut, so we will see when we get there what you think of it.
It's going to be a whirlwind experience, but we've got time. That's '05. We're not there yet. But we turn it over to you now, people. Go out, check all these movies out for yourself, form your own opinions. And as always, catch us here next week when we dive into the absolute classic that is AVP, Alien versus Predator. And as always, we'll see you at the movies.